Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am testing out a technique that I have been seeing all over YouTube. Lots of my favorite YouTubers have tested out this technique and they're swearing by it. They really believe in it, so I was like, I as well have to test it out for you guys. So the technique is putting powder before putting on your foundation. So typically you put on your foundation and then your powder, but then when you're using this technique, you go in with your powder first and then after that put on your foundation. So what it's supposed to do is make your foundation go on much smoother and give you a way more flawless application, and also mattify your face and make sure that your foundation stays in place all day long. Now, all the people who I've seen trying this technique have oily skin. I have dry skin. I have no idea how it's going to work for my dry skin, but I am going to try all the same and see, you know, just how it looks and how it comes out for dry skin. If you have oily skin, then you as well can try this technique. It's supposed to really control oil on your face and keep your foundation matte all day long. So yeah, I'm going to try it. I'm going to put the powder first and then the foundation first. I'm going to talk you guys through it, tell you how it feels and all that good stuff, and then I am going to keep my foundation on the whole day, go about my normal day-to-day activities, and then I'm going to check back in with you guys later, much later on in the day, to tell you how my foundation holds up. I will not touch up at all during the day. I will stay the way I am, and then I'm gonna check back in and tell you guys, you know, how it is at the end of the day. So let's start. So my skin is already prepped and primed. I have moisturized it and I have primed it. So now this technique says you go in with your powder first. So I'm using this black Opal deluxe finishing powder. So I am going to apply this all over my face. So I'm applying using a beauty blender. Okay, I think I'm gonna switch to a brush. It's a bit hard to apply the powder with a beauty blender, so let me switch to a brush. I think this will make it much easier. Yes. Oops, there's powder all over my shirt, but that's okay. So I am applying a good amount, which is what I've seen all the other people who've tried this technique do. You apply a nice healthy amount. Don't be stingy with it. You can also use a translucent powder for this. It doesn't have to be a powder like mine. You can use the powder you have. Okay, so I think that's, oh god, my poor shirt. Anyway, yeah, I think that is good enough. Now, first impressions of putting the powder on, it feels weird and my skin is cracking quite a bit over here, which is what happens because I have dry skin, so that's expected. But yeah, it actually feels okay so far before we've even moved on to the foundation. Now the foundation I'm going to be using is a foundation I love and I use all the time, which is the black Opal stick foundation, this one right here. Now this foundation, it's a cream stick foundation and it tends to be really oily. Even for me who has dry skin, my face tends to get oily even just after a short time. So I'm hoping this technique is going to fix that about this foundation. So if you have an oily foundation that tends to get super oily throughout the day, then this technique might just be the one for you. We're gonna find out. Yeah, so this is the foundation I'm going to be using and I'm just going to apply it as usual. So usually this foundation goes on much smoother than it just has right now. It goes on like just woo woo woo, so smooth, but this time it was a bit hard to apply, I suppose, because of the powder. But let me blend it out. So I'm going in with this flat brush to blend out the foundation. So far it's blending out okay. It's not super difficult to blend out, it's just blending out like it usually does. Now after that, I usually go in with a beauty blender, a damp one. So I'm just gonna dampen it with my setting spray, and I just like to go in and blend further just to make it look more natural. Okay, let me get a smaller, more magnified mirror to see exactly how this finish is. Okay, so I'm definitely seeing a slight difference. Usually my foundation doesn't look as smooth as this. It is looking quite smooth. It's actually looking just like a second skin. I don't know if that's translating onto camera, but from what I can see in this mirror, it actually looks really, really good. And I thought that the powder would make my foundation look really, really cakey and just, you know, a mess, because you know powder on dry skin is just so I thought it would make my foundation look so cakey, but that is not what it has done. It's actually just made the foundation just look beautiful and quite natural and quite flawless. It's made the foundation look quite flawless, you guys. Like sometimes I usually go in with 2 coats of foundation, but today I'm actually just gonna leave it at that. It looks flawless. It looks like my skin. I feel like I can get those compliments of, whoa, your skin is like perfect. So yeah, so far my first impression of this technique is it's a thumbs up. It's actually made quite a nice change in my foundation, and my face is not cakey like I thought it would be. Now I'm thinking, should I highlight or not? No, I don't know. I think I'm just gonna highlight under my eyes, but then I'm not going to put any powder over this because, you know, we reversed the technique. So I'm just going to highlight under my eyes, maybe set that with just a bit of powder, just a bit. Yeah, let's do that. So as usual, I'm going in with my LA Girl Pro Concealer. I don't want such an out there highlight, so I'm using Toffee, which is like basically my skin tone, and I'm just putting it under the eyes, not much. Damp beauty blender to blend that out. And then now I'm just lightly, very lightly setting it, just because I don't want it to crease. But like I said, I'm not going to set the rest of the face with powder. And then I am just dusting off. I'm not gonna bake, I'm just dusting that off right away. Yes, and then I am just finishing off with my setting spray. A good amount. So refreshing. As it's drying, let me just add some glue. Okay, so now my setting spray is dry, and yes, it looks so flawless, you guys. I'm already endorsing this technique. Like, my skin actually looks really flawless, but not in like a foundation-y kind of way, but like in a natural kind of way, if you guys know what I mean. That, you know, it just looks like my skin is the one that's flawless, like I haven't put foundation, that kind of flawless. Woo, yes. Okay, so now I'm just going to go about my day and come back like in about 3-4 hours without touching up, and tell you guys how my foundation holds up, whether it gets oily, because like I said, this foundation usually gets oily, especially on my T-zone. So we're gonna check that. Yeah, so right now it is 12:19. I'm going to come back at around 3-4 there. We see how the foundation is looking. I'm going to be in the sun. I'm honestly going to be just going about my usual day-to-day activities, and I will see you guys after a couple of hours. Hey again, guys. So it is the end of the day. It's actually 5:18. So it's been a couple of hours, and I am back to give you feedback on this technique. It's actually a bit chilly, that's why I have the sweater on, because it's just a bit chilly outside, because it's evening. Actually, it's evening. So this is how I have not touched my skin since I last left you guys. Like, I have not touched up, I have not blotted, I have not done anything whatsoever, and this is how my foundation is looking, girl. Wow, like I am actually hands down totally impressed with this technique, because usually what happens with this foundation is this area gets so oily, and then when I blot, it comes off totally. So by the time I'm coming back home, there's usually no foundation on my nose. But as you guys can see, my nose has foundation, everywhere has foundation. It's just a little bit oily, very little oil has been produced here. So I think all in all, this technique is awesome. And like I said at the beginning, the people who've tried it have oily skin, but I'm telling you guys, if you have dry skin, you should give it a try as well, especially if you have a stick foundation, a creamy foundation that tends to get oily. This tip could totally help you control that. So thank you so much for watching me try out this technique. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I hope you guys will try. If you do try it, please tell me how it goes for you down in the comments. And if you just enjoyed the video, tell me that in the comments. And yeah, if you've ever tried this technique, also tell me that in the comments. But otherwise, thank you so much for stopping by to hang out with me. I really appreciate you guys. You guys have no idea. I really appreciate all of you, each and every single one of you. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Mwah.